Chapter 9. Tomorrow, again, we have ACT in the morning for all juniors and sophomores. So it'll be a work day in class for those who are here. And then Wednesday is the KPC pre-prom activities for the upperclassmen. So you guys won't be here Wednesday, most of you, so it'll be another work day. Thursday is a track meet, so that's right now when I'm planning on the test. Will be Thursday. The tracksters will either have to make it up or take it on Friday. Okay. Find YB if the diameter of A is 10 inches, the diameter of B is 8 inches, and AX is 3. So I'm just going to draw this. We know AX is 3. The diameter of circle A is 10. Well, circle A goes from A to Y, right? So AY is 10, which means this piece has to be 7. And the diameter of B is 8 inches, and that goes from B to X. So B to X is 8, so that means this piece is 1. Just doing it again. Makes me so happy. Come on. Recognize the pen as a pen. We're trying to find YB, so YB was 1. Everybody see that? Did I do that right? You think? We don't know because I keep erasing things. Okay, looking at it here. If the diameter of A is 10, and we know AX is 3, that means XY is 7. And if from circle B to the end is 8, and XY is 7, then YB must be 1. And that's what we're looking for. Okay, on to the next one. The radius and diameter of a Frisbee with a circumference of 11 pi. Well, you have to know the formula for circumference, and it's pi times the diameter, or 2 pi times the radius. Okay, we're trying to find the diameter. The diameter is 11 inches, which means the radius is 5.5 inches. Questions on that one? Okay, in circle K, the measure of HKG is right here, is x plus 10. And the measure of IKJ, which is right here, is 3x minus 22. Well, what are those two angles related to each other? How are they related to each other? This angle and this angle. How are they related to each other? They're vertical angles, so they're equal, right? So I can just set these equal to each other. And solve for x. 2x equals 32, x equals 16. I'm trying to find the measure, arc measure of FJ. FJ, this whole thing here. I know x is 216, so that or 16, so that means this angle is 26. And this angle is 26. This is a straight line. So I would take 180 minus 74 minus 26, right? And 7, that's 100, so this would be 80 degrees. Does that make sense? Okay. The diameter of C is 18 units long. Find the length of an arc that has a measure of 100. Just call this 100. So this has 100 degrees, this arc measure. They want to find the length of the arc. Well, the length of the arc is proportional to the circumference, because circumference is the length of the whole circle. So we're just going to set a ratio up. 100 degrees, maybe. 100 degrees is to the whole circle, which is 360, as this piece, x, is to the whole circumference. So what's the circumference of a circle with a diameter of 18? What's the formula for circumference? Pi times diameter. So the circumference is going to be 18 pi. So let's see if my marker's back. Yes. 100 over 360. Come on. Driving me crazy. 100 over 360. I'm going to have to write with my mouse, which is going to be ugly. 100 over 360. Because that's the angles. Told you it was going to be ugly. Equals the circumference, or equals x, what we're looking for, over the whole length of the circle, which is 18 pi. The first thing I would do, what's that? I still can't hear you. Oh, it wasn't so bad. Yeah. So what's 10 over 36? 5 over 18? 5 over 18. All right. Just simplifying the fraction equals x over 18 pi. So rather than doing cross multiplication here, what did I multiply 18 by to get over here? Pi, right? So if I take 5 times pi, I'll get there. So it's 5 pi. Then I just put that in the calculator because they want it to the nearest hundredth. So 5 times pi in the calculator, round it to the nearest hundredth, and there's your answer. If that makes sense? Just set up a proportion there. Okay. Now, of course, my eraser works because that's all that works. Okay, number 5. In circle A, CG is 5x plus 2. GD is 7x minus 12. Find x. Well, what do we know about CG and GD? They're congruent. Yep. So I'm just going to set 5x plus 2 equal to 7x minus 12. Subtract 5, I get 2x. Add 12, I get 14. X is 7. And I'm done. Okay. Next one. In circle O, PQ is 18 meters. Find the distance from O to PQ. So we're trying to find this. Right? Well, I could make a triangle here. This radius is equal to x plus 3. Right? Because the radius from here to here is equal to the radius from here to here. What other things could I do?
Can you divide? I mean, like, if you know the radius, or
This
half
and
of PQ. To make a triangle?
half of PQ?
Yeah.
Well, I make a triangle here. What do you mean half of PQ?
Like to get that other side.
This side?
No, the other side.
Over here?
No, like the leg.
This side?
Wait, what's number 3?
3 is this little piece right here.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I could do, this piece is going to, if this is x plus 3. Right? Because x plus 3 is the radius. Right? And now I have this, something like this. This would be 2x plus 3. X plus 3. Right? And I know that, well, that's not going to help me much, is it, either? Because I don't know the distance from here to here. So I think I go back to my original idea, which I can't erase this because it's causing me fits again. I'm so tired of this board. And just draw a triangle. Maybe. Oh my gosh. So we know if we're looking for this, and we know that this side's going to be x plus 3. Right? What's the relationship between, in this triangle, how can I find these two pieces? Well, PQ, which I know here is 18, right? So that means this piece is 9. This piece is 9. Right? So I could say, just use Pythagorean's theorem, 81 plus x squared equals x squared plus 6x plus 9. Remember when you... So I'm going to just write this triangle, see if my pen will work now. I have this triangle. So x squared plus 81 equals x plus 3 squared. Remember, this is not x squared plus 9. X plus 3 squared is that. Then I have to FOIL it. So that's equal to x squared plus 9, or 6x plus 9. The shortcut, if you want a shortcut, when you have to square a binomial, square the first term, square the last term, and then multiply this times 2. It's the same thing, it's a lot less work. If you'd rather just do this, then just do that. I just remember the algorithm, and it makes my life a lot easier. So now I have x squared plus 81 equals, well, if I have an x squared on this side and an x squared on this side, when I move one to the other side, they cancel out. And now I have 6x equals, what, 72? Okay, what else could I have done here? I could have, well, I'm not going to do it because my board doesn't want me to. I was going to say I could go ahead and extend that now that I realize both of these are 9. And I could use that chord piece. That you have that piece of the chord times the other equals the other two pieces of the chord. You know what I mean? Hey, I got a little bit. So I have this chord. This piece is 3. This piece is 9. God. 3, 9, 9, x. And then it goes on to x plus 3. So I have 2x plus 3 times 3 equals 81. Right, we learned the chord formula in this class. So I have the sum of this, which is 2x plus 3, so it's x to here, and then x plus 3 to there, times the other piece of the chord, which is 3. Equals 9 times 9. Well, that's 6x plus 9, which I got over here, equals 81. This is probably a little easier way to use the chords than it is to make triangles. But both of them would work if you can't remember one or the other. That was painful with my board. Okay, find x. This is an inscribed angle. This should be easy. What's the formula? Inscribed angles. Half the arc. So 52. Right? Central angles, the angle is equal to the angle. Inscribed angle, it's equal to half the arc. A regular decagon is inscribed in a circle. What's regular mean? All the angles are the same, all the sides are the same. So if it's inscribed in a circle, how many angles are there? There's 10. Circle's 360 degrees, 360 divided by 10, each angle is 36. All right. CD is tangent to circle Z at 1, 7. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to have, if Z has coordinates 5, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. So that's the center. And there's the point. It wants to find the slope of CD. CD is tangent to the circle. So I have this circle going around. It's going to go through this point, 1, 7. And I've got this line CD that's tangent to the circle. Something like that. If it's tangent, that means if this is my line to my center, if it's tangent, it's 90 degrees. So if I find the slope that goes from this point to this point, how can I find the slope of a 90-degree line, a line that's perpendicular? What do we know about perpendicular slope? Opposite reciprocal. Opposite reciprocal. So what I'm going to do is find the slope of this line, and it is down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1, 2, 3, 4. So the slope of this line is negative 5/4, which means the slope of this line is positive 4/5. So that's the measure, that's the slope of line CD. That makes sense? The key here is recognizing that a tangent line is 90 degrees to the radius. Okay, and then remembering what your slope, perpendicular slope rules are. Okay. Triangle DEF is circumscribed about circle O. So let's see if I can draw this. Beautiful. D, E, F. DE is 15 units. DF is 12 units. And EF is 13 units. Find the length of each segment whose endpoints are D. So it wants this piece and this piece. It goes from this point to this point. So what I would probably do is figure out that this is equal to 12 minus x, right? Because there's 12. Well, if this is x, let's call this x. We'll do this. This is x, this is 12 minus x. Either way. If this is x, this is x. Right? Which means this is 15 minus x. Which means this has to be 15 minus x. And this has to be 12 minus x. So we know 12 minus x plus 15 minus x has to equal 13. So that is 27 minus 2x equals 13. 2x equals 14. X is 7. So that's the length. I do that right? If I let both of these be x, then as it relates to this whole line, this piece here is 12 minus x. These two have to be equal by the rules of tangency on the circle, so this has to be 12 minus x. If this is x, this is 15 minus x, so this has to be 15 minus x. And then we know the whole length of that side is 13. So 12 minus x plus 15 minus x is 13. 27, yeah, x is 7. Would you have done it differently? How would you have done it? You have an alternative way? We could always plug it back in and see if it works. Maybe 7 is here, 7 is here, which means this is 8, and this is 5, which means this is 5, and this is 8, and 8 plus 5 is 13. Okay. Next question. Find x. Well, this is the intersecting chords. So I take x minus 3 times 3 equals 2 times x plus 1. X equals 11. All right. Find x if BA is tangent to P. Okay, so if it's tangent, what's the formula? When I have secants and tangents. This is where, if you guys don't have these memorized, you need to have a sheet made that you can reference to study from. What's the formula? Well, it's 4 squared equals 3 times 3 plus x. It's the tangent squared is equal to 3 times the whole length. 16 equals 9 plus 3x. 7 equals 3x. X equals 7/3. Okay. All right. Find the following. FA is with FA and FE tangent at A and E. Okay. Find the measure of ACE. ACE. Well, to find that, I really need to know this arc and this arc. And what do I do once I know those? Subtract them and divide by 2. But I don't know this arc. So what can I do? Well, I need to find this piece. I need to find this piece. You don't have any idea? Well, I know this is a 90. Does that help me with anything? Yeah, because this is 82, which means this is 41. It's half of that intercepted arc. This is 90 plus, well, I just need to make this, so that's 49 up there. So that means this whole thing here has to be 98. But this is 48, so that means this little piece here is 50. Now I found that. I can use 360 minus all of that. Or I could just actually, what could I have done? It would have been a little faster. This goes through G, so it's a diameter. So this plus this must be 180, half the circle. So this piece right here must be 110, right? And I'm trying to find this angle. So it's going to be 110 minus 48 divided by 2. 1038 is what, 62? Is that right? Okay, ADB, well, I figured that already. The measure of ADB is 49. did a little work that helped. Figured that out for the first problem. So A, is that right? No, ADB. DAB is 49. ADB is 41. AFE. AFE. This angle. So what's that angle? How do we find it? Well, it's going to be this whole piece of the circle minus this piece divided by 2. So we figured this piece was 110, which means the rest of it is what? 250? So 250 minus 110 divided by 2. That's 140 over 2 is 70. EHD. EHD. I'm going to erase this. Looking for this angle right here. What do you think? Well, if I could find this angle, it would be the same, would it? Yeah. I figured out this angle was ACE 31, right? And I know this angle was 49. So I just add those two together, subtract it from 180. Are you following me at all? Okay. And then I would find that angle. Those two are vertical angles, so I could find that one. What is it? 180 minus 49 minus 31 is 100. So that one was 100. Well, it's hard to do these if you're drawing on it for each question because, so it may be with a pencil, draw on it, fill in the angles as you go, and keep those in there, but maybe any other markings erase so that you can use those angles for other questions. But you'll have a question like that on the test. Okay. Determine the length of the radius of a circle with an equation x minus 3 squared plus y minus 2 squared and r squared contains these points. So all you have to do is just plug those points in for x and y. So I have 1 minus 3 squared plus 4 minus 2 squared is equal to r squared. 1 minus 3 is negative 2, squared is positive 4. 4 minus 2 is 2, squared is 4. So r is equal to r squared equals 8. R is equal to the square root of 8. We haven't spent a lot of time talking about simplifying radicals, so I'd probably accept that. But technically, the answer would be 2 square roots of 2. Square root of 8, 2 square roots of 2, it's the same thing. Okay. Write an equation of a circle having a diameter with those endpoints. Let's see, where's a good place to draw this? Probably not there. Negative 2, 6. And 8, 4. 2, 3, 4. And that's the diameter of the circle. So how could I find the center of the circle if this is the diameter? Midpoint formula? Midpoint formula, you just average the x's, average the y's. Okay, so my x's are negative 2 and 8. So I add that together, I get 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So the x-coordinate is 3. Y-coordinate, I add the 6 and the 4, and I get 10. Divided by 2 is 5. So my center of the circle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is right there at 3, 5. Now, to find the radius, I'm going to call this 8 and 4. I just need the distance between the two, right? So we could draw just a quick triangle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 5. This is 1. So the distance there is the square of 1 plus the square of 5, and it's the square root of that. That's my radius. So to write it as a formula then, x minus the x-coordinate, y minus the y-coordinate of the midpoint, or of the center, is equal to the radius squared. Well, the square of this is 26. That's the equation of my circle. So you had to find the midpoint, then you had to use the distance formula to find the length of the radius. And then you had to know the equation of the center. It's x minus the x-coordinate of the center, y minus the y-coordinate of the center. Both of those squared is equal to the radius. Okay. And then 19. Find the equation of a circle with radius of length 10 and a center at -4, -9. This is easy. X minus the x-coordinate. X-coordinate's -4, which makes it x plus. Y minus the y-coordinate, y plus. And the radius is 10. Radius squared is 100. So you've got to know this formula. X minus h. Where hk is your center. 20. This actually should be a y minus. So where's my center of this circle? What point? What coordinate? What's h and what's k? What's h and what's k in this formula? -1 is h, because this says x minus, right? Yep. So let's go ahead and just draw my -1, +2, and the radius is, what's 16? What's the square root of 16? 4. So I'm just going to sketch it. Just going to go out 4 from that center. 1, 2, 3, 4. Something like that. Okay, bonus question. AB is tangent to circle P at 5, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. The equation for P, oof, this is a good one. Anybody remember how to complete the square? You wouldn't be able to get this one otherwise. So it's going to be x squared minus 2x, and we have y squared plus 4y equals 20. I need to get something, it needs to look like this for the formula. Right now I have it like this. So to figure out how to put it here, I take half of this, which is -1, and square it. So this becomes x minus 1 squared is equal to this. But I can't just add 1 to one side and not the other, so I have to add it to the other side. I'm going through it quickly because this is, if you don't know how to complete the square, you wouldn't have been able to do this. Half of 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4. This is plus 2. And if I add 4 here, I have to add it here. So now I have x minus 1 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals 25. So I know my radius is 5. And my center is 1, -2. 1, There's my center. So this is the line. It's going to be something like that. And there's the line that's tangent. So I'm going to find the slope from here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the slope of this line is -4/3. Write it as an equation of a line. Plug in this point, which is 5, 1, and for x and y. So 3/3 minus 20/3 is -23/3. That's what B is. So the equation of my line is that. I wouldn't expect anyone to have gotten that one on the review, but that took a lot of work. I have to know how to complete the square to find the center, and then find the slope of the line that's tangent, and then write the equation of that line by plugging in the x, y coordinates of that point. A lot of math went into that one. But I believe the test itself is multiple choice. The review was all short answer, so other than the bonus won't be multiple choice. Okay, and it'll be on Thursday. Think about it. I'll just say it while I'm recording. If you make a cheat sheet, you can use it. Then we'll see how many people watch my recording.